So, Wolverine, to make a Wolverine game.
It looks good.
What do we think? Yeah, what do we think about it? Well, I'm sort of at this weird point where, and this, I know we're just like, hey, but just everyone be nice to devs. We're at this point where I'm like wanting to not pay attention to it anymore. Like I kind of want to just not look anymore, because at this point it's like I need to get my hands on it. It just, the more information they're giving about it, the kind of less enthusiastic I am, and I have some sort of I don't know, hang-ups about it.
We're definitely in that less is more period of time before launch for a game, where the more they reveal, the less there is to be excited about your imagination of what could be in the game, because they're revealing the magic trick, so to speak. So
we're such little Goldilocks assholes about it too, because we are. 6 years we're like, they're not showing enough, and then like 2 months after they show, they're showing too much.
I'm sort of surprised at how much people hate the character model.
Yeah, it's such a weird
because
thing.
I was like, I thought you guys only did that for girls. Like,
no, Brian, it is girls and ugly dudes. They only want hot dudes. They want to stare at hot dudes' bare asses. That's what they want.
Maybe it's because we grew up playing so many stupid ass games that it just doesn't. It never really registered to me. You know, like I think that people are like, why doesn't he look like Hugh Jackman? And I was talking about this with Max the other day. By the time I was like 12, I had 11 different bad Wolverine action figures that all had different faces and didn't look anything like anyone. They just looked like a guy with like a bad beard and hair, right? Like
my darlings. Hugh Jackman doesn't look like Wolverine.
There's like when he was cast, like I remember, like I was a kid, but I remember early ass internet people being like, "He's not Wolverine. He looks nothing like Wolverine."
We did that for Heath Ledger. Remember as the Joker. Man. We do. It's just you get old enough now, and they just start playing reruns of everything. Like you're just like, oh, we're doing this. Okay, well, fine. I mean,
that is the nice thing about being older is like, because when they announced like way back Robert Pattinson as Batman and people were mad, I was like, he'll be fine. They'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, the thing that bugs me, and this is a really stupid hang up that I'm just kind of coming to terms with, it's sort of something that bothered me in Deadpool and Wolverine. I think he should wear a mask or have a beard, but not both. I think when Wolverine has a beard and is wearing the mask, he looks... It's like if Batman had a mustache. I don't like it. If Batman has had a mustache, that's like a whole thing in The Dark Knight Returns. But like, I don't like it. I just don't. It looks like it just looks weird. It's like if Spider-Man had a cape. I don't like it. I don't want
like the idea of the mustache like coming out from underneath the cowl is so disgusting. What if he had like one of those like Captain Lou Albano goatees with the rubber bands?
That would be the worst. I think they maybe did that in Ultimate Wolverine. He had like a little soul patch. It was terrible.
It would be funny if it was something that was so recognizable that people were like, it's got to be this Bruce Wayne guy.
Like
they have the exact nobody else does that.
Well, like, ultimately, like what the guy looks like is completely incidental because I think they just put. I think they now have almost 100 costumes in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
They just added 2 more today. There's like 92 already. They're just it's ridiculous. But like. What they announced at the panel, they're going to do a Marvel Tokon themed cell shaded costume, and I was immediately like, "That's what I want to see more of." I don't want to see like the default box art version. Like, when's the last time anybody played a video game that had character customization in any shape or form, and you went with the one on the box?
I'll be honest, most games I play.
It's probably more than you think, Max, because I think there's so many players out there that just choose the default option and don't bother to mess with other things. I remember during the Baldur's Gate 3 like test period where they're like, they posted the response, like the statistics for how many people what their character rate was the most popular thing. And they were like, guys, we gave you devil horns. We gave you lizard tails. We gave you scales and other skin tones. And like 68%, I don't remember what the actual number was, went with the basic white dude. Like, use the options we've spent 10 years making. Like, do something different. So I think it is actually a higher number than we think.
But I mean, like in terms of gear, like the most basic stuff, like the stuff they show on the box art, like, I don't know, like the Skyrim Dovahkiin thing that you find that armor in like the first 7 minutes. You're not going to keep it. Like Elden Ring, like that's, what is it? I forget that guy's armor, but it's like, no one has that ever. I'm not talking just like character customization. I'm talking just like gear and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. If I don't like this version of Wolverine, I'll figure it out. I'll deal with it. And if I want to see his naked behind, hopefully they have that Weapon X training diaper that he runs around the woods.
No, I played what was it? Anytime I get a chance in the recent Spider-Man games to play with like the animated suit or whatever, the one like the cell shaded ones that look like they're straight out of a comic book. That's the one I pick. It's crazy because they do all this stuff to make all of this realism, and they're individually animating bristles on his cheeks and stuff. And I'm like, give me the cartoon. I want the cartoon.
I want to relive Ultimate Spider-Man. That's what I want.
Yeah. So when I saw the Tokon suit for this game, I was like, dude, that's the one I'm going to play as.
Hell yeah, less graphics. Too many graphics in games these days.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
What's your feeling on this one?
I'm excited about it. I think here's the thing is, for me, the big thing about Spider-Man wasn't playing through a Spider-Man story. It was getting to swing around New York City and like take fun photographs.
Dude, yeah.
And so there's part of me that's concerned that I'm definitely going to get this game because I'm a sucker for this type of game. But I'm kind of worried that it doesn't have the one thing that made Spider-Man such a big game for me by virtue of the fact that that's not who Wolverine is. Mm-hmm. So, but if it is sort of like the Spider-Man set pieces where it's set piece to set piece to set piece to set piece, I think I'll have a good time with it. I'm just sort of worried that it's not going to be a game that I play for 7 years because I keep coming back to swing around the city
and take a photo.
We were talking about that exactly over the weekend. Because I think that even when you're not doing anything in Spider-Man, you're just kind of hanging out, and mechanically it just feels so awesome that like you could swing around that city for 25 hours without really doing any story stuff, just because you're like finding backpacks. And I don't know if Wolverine, like I know it's going to control really well, and I know it's going to feel awesome when you're like sort of like stinging from character to character and slashing them apart and stuff like that, but it's not the same, right? It's not the same as doing like Tony Hawk stunts going 100 miles an hour through Manhattan, I don't know, so we'll see. I think that's the one thing I'm like the most apprehensive about.
Maybe you can just fast travel to a bunch of different bars and sample a bunch of different whiskeys. That's just Wolverine, just a bunch of bars.
Yeah, honestly,
sample some whiskeys.
That would be kind of funny if the fast travel was just blacking out. He's just instead of like riding the subway, he just passes out in the bar, and you wake up, you're somewhere else. You're like, oh, okay.
Max, I think you just discovered a great fast travel like narrative in a game.
Yeah, yes. I mean that's. I feel like that's sort of. I mean, it's like half of what the GTA character switching is, but just do it with one guy. Yeah. No. I mean, apparently, I think what did they say? Like the collectibles are like flasks or something.
Yeah.
Like it's
Oh, that's cool.
Each flask, has a different bar that you go to.
They don't like it when you do that in bars. They want you to buy what's in there. That's I think that this game has a lot going against it just by the sheer nature of not being Spider-Man, and it's not that it's not open world, and it's not that it's not web slinging, and it's also it's not that it's going to be inherently darker and grittier, which is going to like 7-year-olds. Some of them are going to play this because parents are sometimes bad, but like also I think a lot of there's no like Wolverine and His Amazing Friends Disney Plus show right now that I'm aware of. There's no like Spider-Man has got a big movie in
X-Men
theaters.
97 season 2 is going on. It's kind of the closest thing you get to. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, even that is like rated T for teen or whatever. Like it's and it's.
But it's not the Spider Kids Friends show that they did. They rolled out for Spider-Man.
And like Spider-Man is a friendly neighborhood character. Wolverine is a mass murderer. Like that's the whole like thesis of this game is they're like, and I think just by that nature, and this is gonna sell less than Spider-Man. I'm just gonna say that right now. This is gonna sell less than Spider-Man. Yeah. And there's gonna be a weird thing where people who are pissed about the Sony digital sales things are going to be like, hell yeah, the boycott is working. And it's like, that's probably not what's going to be the factor here. I think it's more just, like
he's just a less popular character. That's really what it just comes down to.
In the 90s, he was more popular, but like he's just been less. He's had less exposure recently. Like we've had
the new Spider-Man movie is going to make more money than the most recent Deadpool Wolverine. It just is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right? I think, and it's also the R-rated game thing is it gets it cuts off a certain amount of the audience that they wouldn't be able to access it. Spider-Man is just one of those things that you could be 5 or 95 and you're like, yep, I get it. And Wolverine's kind of it's sort of a tougher sell.
Yeah. It's more teen to, mid to older adults age range, and that's it.
Yeah, one hang up I have about this too, and I was trying to unpack this, like what isn't clicking for me, and it's the fact that it's set in basically a much smaller cinematic universe. Like there are, I mean, basically the whole thing they kind of went into during the Comic-Con panel is like there are no X-Men here. Like they talked about that before, but they're just straight up aren't X-Men. Wolverine's part of this like Team X, which is kind of like a American Weapon X, Black Ops unit, and they're running around doing not superhero stuff, but they're just doing stuff as a team. And meanwhile, Jean Grey is running around on her own, which is such a weird kind of flip of the usual thing where Jean Grey is part of a team and Wolverine is like the lone wolf. But the other factor there is like they're presenting Jean Grey as like sort of a love interest, I guess, or there's some kind of dynamic there. So much of that hinges on Cyclops. Like I'm sorry, but that is so like, that love triangle is what makes that interesting. Like if it's just a straight like, oh, they met each other and they're different. I don't know.
I wouldn't put it past them having some sort of story hook about Jean being with Cyclops and Cyclops dying is the reason why, what kind of pushed her to go solo kind of thing. And that's
oh yeah, that's a good call.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if that's something like Cyclops, leader of the team, goes down with the ship.
There's no team though.
Bad. Well, I'm saying that's why there is no team.
Okay, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. That's my prediction for the hook is there was a team, there was an X-Men team, but it would.
I mean, I think they've kind of acknowledged that there are so few mutants in this, and it reminds me of I don't know, I guess the early Marvel movies, not the X-Men movies, because the X-Men movies were really good about early on. Like in X2, there's that part where like Mystique sneaks in and there's the big roster and there's all these Easter eggs of like, oh, they got Gambit's name in there. They've got like, oh, Colossus makes a cameo. They're so good about making it feel like there's more going on outside of this one particular piece of media, which is so much of the Marvel experience. And like as much as we fault these, the movies for being too interconnected and having too many sort of stray characters popping up left and right, that is kind of the hook of what Marvel Comics succeeds at.
Yep.
And it feels almost like isolating, like to have sort of Wolverine with a handful of characters in there. But I almost feel like if it was just him kind of out on his own doing like, if he's fighting like, I don't know, Canadian fur trappers and like just random dudes, fighting a bear, like that would feel kind of more authentic to some of his solo stuff than this does, which this feels like almost a half measure as far as an X-Men game could be. And it's not an X-Men game. There are no X-Men in it. It doesn't say X-Men in the title. So I'm just getting in my head about it, but
that's fair.
Don't worry, Max. There'll be a little mini game that's going to be like Snow Runner, where you'll be able to drive a little truck for Wolverine, his day job, before the shit hits the fan.
just be a bad fur trapper or whatever. Just have like I like Wolverine when he's just sort of just doing his thing out there. He's just like, I'm going to be a woodsman, and then something goes wrong, and he's like, I can't be a woodsman anymore. I have to be a murderer. It'll be fine. Jada, you played a bunch of Tokon, right? There was a test thing?
I am so surprised how much... I'm surprised and not surprised how much I love Tokon. I was like, oh, this is going to be hype. This is going to be fantastic. Then they kind of revealed a few more things. And one of the things I generally don't like with tag games is I prefer it to be Marvel vs. Capcom style, where your characters each have their own health bars and you don't lose for losing just one character. So I was kind of turned off by that. And then I was talking with Mitchell Saltzman during IGN Live, and he's like, yeah, but there's 4 characters. Can you imagine how long matches would be if you had to deplete all 4 life bars? And I was like, that's a good point. Fast forward to this weekend, they had the open beta. I played so much of this beta. I've played basically every character. So far from the beta, characters I've locked in with from my roster I'm leading with Black Panther. I have Magic as my sweeper at the end, and then I have a combination of Star-Lord and Green Goblin in between those for just kind of good mix-ups and projectiles to kind of for people who just want to sit back and shoot laser beams with Iron Man or Dr. Doom or whoever.
That's a weird lineup.
It is a very weird lineup. The one thing I really do like and respect about this game is, depending on your lineup, it changes your team name. So I originally had Captain America on my team. So before I swapped Green Goblin in, and it was the Wakandan Avengers. And when I swapped him out for Green Goblin and Star-Lord in for somebody else, I think I had Blade in there as well. I swapped Star-Lord in for Blade. It became, what was it? I can't remember. It was something else. It was Wakandan something. I think it was like Wakandan royalty or something like that. So But yeah, absolutely.
That is such a cool mechanic.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, it changes based on your team. It changes based on who's your captain. There's one that's like cackling flyers, I think was what Yusuf, my partner, was playing, because he was leading with Green Goblin as his main team, and he also had Star-Lord, and then I can't remember his other two characters he had. But
so they talked about this in a trailer, right? I think I completely missed it and thought they were just saying that like there were like bespoke teams already. So the storyline basis is there's this kind of bespoke storyline where there are these very specific teams. So in the beta, you were able to play through the first couple chapters of Spider-Man's story. Again, Spider-Man leading the pack. So you were able to see that, and that's where they kind of came up with whatever the Spider-Man team was. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. It was like the Amazing something Avengers, not Avengers, but something like that. But yeah, so they have those bespoke teams for those specific teams, but then they have custom ones you can do. Getting into just kind of the core of this gameplay, I am kind of mixed on the fact that it is so easy for anybody to jump in with modern controls, because they have the very simplified combos to where if you push square just over and over again, you'll do a combo. You'll do a pre-programmed combo. Same with that's your light combo. You have same for your medium and your heavy triangle and circle combos. However, the damage is reduced if you're playing that way. The issue I have with it being in there the way it is in the beta, at least, there's no way to turn those combos off. So if I'm in a combo and I accidentally hit square a fourth time, it locks into that combo instead of me like just being able to just kind of like jab for distance just to poke people down, poke people away. There's like you can do in Street Fighter or other games where you can just repeat the same move to kind of like, hey, I know you're trying to do this. So without putting a delay in there, which can mess with frame data, I'm getting in the weeds now with fighting game tournaments. But I'm getting better about it, Max. That's an interesting thing. Like they obviously have to consider casual players because this is a multi-billion-dollar IP that appeals to children of all ages. How friendly would you say it is for newcomers? Because there's like a spam a combo button is fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great for newcomers. I think because it's so easy to do all of the special moves. Take Star-Lord, for example. If you want to use his dual pistols, you just push R2 on PlayStation and literally it just fires the projectile. You can also do this. It's the same input as a Hadouken from Street Fighter. So you can do the quarter circle forward, and light, medium, or heavy will change the trajectory or power of the different attacks. You don't get that option when you do the simplified one. But if you just want to be able to have, hey, I need a projectile here and I'm not great with my combos yet, you can do that. Every character has a unique skill button, which is I think mapped to R1 by default. So for Star-Lord, he has a elemental gun that he pulls out and uses. And so it's by standard default, it's like a lightning. You can push down in R1 and it will load like an earth elemental blast, which pops up a shield to block a projectile and then fire one back at an enemy. There's a frost one, there's a fire one, just all depending on directional inputs with that. So it's almost kind of Smash Brothers like, to where you have that unique input, but you can modify it with different directions. So I do like that, and I think that's going to really help for newcomers. There is a lot of, I would say, the thing that would be probably a little unfriendly, there's a lot of extra gauges to manage for certain characters. Like Goblin, you have to manage a fuel gauge on his glider. So
what?
So his glider only has limited fuel because it's a very powerful combo piece, so they have to like balance it some way. So he has fuel and it builds up over time pretty quickly, but you need to you have to like mitigate that. If you can still summon your glider to come in and fly, but you can't jump back on it to use it for combos if there's no fuel left in it.
Can we take a second to talk about how extremely funny the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider is, and that he's just regularly summons a car?
Yeah,
like, that was so good in Midnight Suns, and I'm so glad to see it here. It's just like, oh, you brought a knife to a gunfight? Well, I brought a car to a other
I believe
fight.
it's on like one of his command grabs, I believe, if I remember correctly. I don't think it's his standard grab, but I believe it's one of his command grabs. So it's like, I got hit with a car from a couple Robbie Reyes as I played online. And then speaking of him, he has like a heat gauge. So he has like a whole like meter you build up as you do more flame attacks. And then the flame attacks become even more deadly and have a little bit more range. I haven't figured out all the specific details. So don't quote me on those people in the FGC. I've only played like 1 or 2 rounds with him, but I played against a couple and I saw his heat gauge and I was like, okay, I just can't let him hit me with fire attacks because he gets way more deadly when he has that gauge built up. But yeah, it seems really solid for newcomers. I think it's gonna be a hit. The voice actors are great. We got Steve Blum voicing Wolverine, as well as one other character. Yeah,
they didn't get Hugh Jackman.
Wolverine he also doesn't look like Hugh Jackman in this game either. So they're just missing on all fronts on this one. But yeah, it's a blast. I found myself like dozing off last night, and in my brain, because I had played so much Tacon over the weekend, I started seeing combos in my brain, in my like mental image. I was like, that is a sign of like that I want to play a lot of this fighting game, and I'm going to play a lot of this fighting game because I'm materializing it in my brain after the beta has ended. So I am
good.
100% in on this game. I think it's fantastic. I think all the special moves are amazing. I think the soundtrack is great. I think the main villain that you're going against is kind of whatever so far, but I think it just oozes and drips style for all of the characters. Every single character I think is done extremely well. There's a really cool, like I watched a thing with all the different voice actors and other roles they've done, and lots of really cool people in this.
That's cool.
In this game.
I wish I liked fighting games more, because this is legit like one of the best looking video games ever made. Like the art style is just it feels like walking by an arcade cabinet as a kid and seeing a Marvel fighting game for the first time, but 100 times more refined now. Like this style is just absolutely bonkers. I love it so much, and I'm so bad at fighting games, so I'm gonna skip it.
I love that they're just letting them do their own thing for it. I think had they just pretty much aped the Marvel vs. Capcom designs, it would have been like a lot less to write home about. But it's neat that they were just like, yeah, man, go nuts. And then see also like Marvel Rivals. Like it's interesting to see these characters reinterpreted so many different ways. Yeah. Mike, what's the last Marvel game you got into?
Oh, that's a good question. I wish that I had thought of that ahead of time. You know what? Actually, I really liked Cosmic Invasion. That's right. I really, really like Cosmic Invasion. I also bought the Maximum Collection with all the arcade games. Like, I'm such a sucker for those side-scrolling fighters or fighters, you know what I mean?
Beat 'em ups.
Beat 'em ups. Thank you. I was thinking of the word and I couldn't come across it. So I'd say Cosmic Invasion was the last one. I just bought the DLC that has the thing in it, so I need to replay it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. They keep adding more characters, like the stuff they did for not Mutant Mayhem, the turtle one.
Splintered Fate. You're talking about the roguelike?
No, the other one, the
Splinter's Revenge. Or no, Shredder's Revenge.
Shredder's Revenge.
Okay,
doing great.
Okay.
I love that you like a year and a half into that, they were like, we added Ace Duck or whatever. All right, man. Like that shows a certain like commitment to the bit, and it's cool. And there's obviously like a pretty deep roster of Marvel characters to pull from.
I wish I loved Cosmic Invasion more than I do.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah. It's so good, but I feel like it was just like so close. It was like almost for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's not as good as the old ones, but it scratched the itch enough.
It's better than a lot of the old ones. Mike, what's the worst old Marvel game?
Silver Surfer?
That's a good answer.
But that soundtrack absolutely rips.
True.
The game is bad, but that soundtrack is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people really know how good we have it now.
It's so good. Oh my goodness.
Pound for pound, buying a game based on a character you love from a cartoon or a comic book, like 90% of the time that did not go so well.
I mean, games back in the day were incentivized to be not bad, but incentivized to be so tough that it felt bad when you played them, because there was so much of the rental market. There's like, we don't want them beating it in a weekend, so we need to put these things in it to make it really tough, so that no 6-7-year-olds are beating Lion King in this one weekend that they rent it.
They inherited that from arcades, right? Because every time you died, you'd have to literally pump money into it.
Yep.
And I think like, you know, these games had to come out like they're like, you got 6 weeks to make this game and get it out there. Whereas like, you know, something like Wolverine or Spider-Man, they're like, take whatever time you need, man. The important thing is getting it right. And these, you know, you felt like there was like 2 or 3 like 50-year-old guys at a computer being like, what does he do? Silver Surfer? I think he surfs. Let's get it out of here. Like, I feel like it was a much different process.
We're looking at footage of this game, and Silver Surfer was just killed by a piranha, I think, which is like, and also the way his surfboard operates exactly identical whether he's underwater or above it, which none of it makes any like. What if you were like, yo, man, I got this new Silver Surfer game. Oh yeah, what does he do? He gets killed by a piranha.
He just does some like regular surfing, but indoors.
I don't know. I think his surfboard would maneuver the same way underwater and above water.
Yeah, I mean, it would. But also looking at this, I want to say the people who made this game did not understand the concept of not only Silver Surfer, but regular surfing. Because it's like the surfboard can go under the water, I think, but not a lot. You know, it's going to float. This is weird.
It's made of silver. It's heavier, Max, so it goes under.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole thing. Like the average enemy in a licensed NES game made no fucking sense whatsoever.
No, I did this whole deep dive on Spider-Man games. We didn't do all of them, but like digging into the really old ones, they're so bizarre. There's so many strange ones out there. I want to say it was maybe like the third or fourth. There were like a bunch of old like ZX Spectrum like PC Commodore games from the 80s, and there's one where it's like Spider-Man and Mysterio, but he like breaks into Mysterio's studios and runs around, and like he mostly just fights R2-D2. He fights R2-D2 and mummies, and like the idea is that you're like, oh, it's Mysterio. He's like a movie producer or whatever. He's got like special effects stuff everywhere, and they were like, yeah, let's just have Spider-Man kill R2-D2 a bunch. Like, why? What just? And it goes from like, oh, he's in like various hallways and like little like backlots and stuff, and then he's just in a volcano, and I'm like, do you know they don't actually make volcanoes for volcano movies? Not that that's really much of a thing outside Volcano and Dante's Peak. They don't have lava at like the studio, like they don't do
just
that.
In a glass bowl.
Not safe to put the lava there. Yeah, there's one that's really weird. We had to cut a bunch from my feature that I wanted to talk about. There's one where Spider-Man, I think it's the arcade game. It's a Spider-Man team up game, and it's called like Spider-Man Marvel Superheroes or something. But it's Spider-Man, Namor, Black Cat, and there's one other person that it's Hawkeye, which seriously feels like you had to throw a birthday party for somebody last minute and everyone else had plans, and you just get this like disparate group of people. The most baffling thing in that game, though, first of all, they're all going to kick Dr. Doom's ass. Like the whole thing, you go through it. Like Dr. Doom hires Venom, and you just got to beat up Venom a bunch, and then you get to Dr. Doom's house. The final shot of that game is they just burn down Dr. Doom's castle, which is like that
like
feels like
you said it's his house. Like it's like a ranch house that he lives in.
He's just got like a McMansion in like Albany or something. You just go up there. No, it's like
there was, what was it, that Star Wars game where you fight Darth Vader at the end and he turns into a scorpion, and you're like, no one saw the movie. It's like no reason. There were no rules there. No rules. The weirdest thing in that game, though, is in one of the first levels, you're just like going, jumping around, fighting stuff, and it's a whatever, beat 'em up. In the background, there are all these billboards for like Namor has his own soft drink. And there's just like Namor with his shirt off. I mean, he's always his shirt off, but he's just holding up like a can of fish soda or something. And it's just, they don't address it. They don't explain it. It's just in there. And I don't know why. And I want to know. I remember
gotta pay those bills somehow.
Renting the X-Men game for Genesis. And there was a thing in it where you had to like hold down reset at a certain level. Do you remember that, Trucker?
I do.
And that wasn't explained because there was no box or manual with the game. And there was no, because I rented it from a grocery store, and I just would get to that part and the game would stop every single time, and I'd be like, I don't understand what's happening here. So yeah, we have it good. We have it pretty good now.
Yeah, I think the one I played the most as a kid was Spider-Man and X-Men Arcade's Revenge. And that game was very good, but so brutally difficult back in the day. I rented it so many times before my parents finally caved and bought it for me, and I finally beat it.
Is that why you're such a masochist now for games?
The number of games, Aladdin, Lion King, all those brutally difficult games, Maximum Carnage. Like,
Yeah.
I played. I still own most of my copies for most of those, and those. Yeah, this is how I was forged. This is why the reason why I'm so good at games is because I sat there for hours and like, okay, what is the exact order for these stupid monkeys in this Lion King level? How do I dodge the fucking hyenas in?
You're kind of like Bane for video games. You know,
I was like, very much. Yeah. I was born in the darkness of games.
Yeah, I don't know. I love digging back into this.
I like how Forrest Gump you went with that.
The fire rises.
I was running.
The Bane Forrest Gump crossover is very funny to me and will stay in my head for a long time.
I want a Forrest Gump Super Nintendo game where he gets killed by piranhas.
The Forest Unleashed.
I'm gonna break you, Batman.
I wish we got in a Forrest Gump video game.
The Forest Temple.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip from Beyond, IGN's weekly PlayStation show. You can find the full episode over on youtube.com/IGN Games. And don't forget, new episodes of Beyond drop every Wednesday on IGN.com, the IGN Games YouTube, and all your favorite podcast platforms. Thanks again for watching, and as always, Beyond.